Dating as a straight woman is a horrendous experience. That's how I know sexuality is not a choice, because who wouldn't want to be a lesbian in this economy? From the ages of 19 to 22, I was single and got to experience all that the dating pool has to offer. Every time I got screwed over or heartbroken, I could look back and be like, well, there were red flags, okay? I shouldn't have even been with that guy. But there was one time that I got completely caught off guard. Going into this, I was like, I am going to protect myself. I'm going to be open and honest about my expectations. I'm not gonna sleep with the guy too early on. And he seemed so different from the other guys and so emotionally intelligent and all of the things. Okay, let me just tell you the story. I was living alone and I had been in a few situationships, and I was noticing a pattern, not only with the guys that I was dating, but the guys that my friends were dating too. Like, they would love bomb the shit out of you, even when you both agreed that you wanted to keep it casual. They would end up saying some shit like, oh my god, I think I want to be with you. I think you're the one for me. And then out of the blue, they'd be done with you. Sometimes us girls wouldn't learn our lesson the first time, and this would become a never-ending cycle. I love you. We need to see other people. You need to meet my mother. I found another girlfriend. So I decide, okay, next time I date a guy, I'm gonna really protect myself. One day this guy reaches out to me on Instagram. We'll call him Wendell. I wasn't even trying to date at this particular moment, but when I looked at his profile, I was like, wow, he's really cute. Somehow we were friends on Instagram, but I didn't know when we had met, and it turned out that we were both vegan, so it felt meant to be. Later on, I would realize that we had somehow started messaging months prior on a dating site and then added each other, but I didn't know that at the time, so I was like, okay, so we started going on dates, and I was really impressed. First of all, he always chose really cute dates. Like, up until then, I would usually just go on like a coffee date or to a bar. But our first date, you know, he took me out to dinner. One time he took me to a little arcade. Another time he took me to a coffee shop where you could like sit down and play board games. And we would have really good conversations. He seemed really self-aware and emotionally intelligent. He was actually just about to get his bachelor's in psychology, and he wanted to be a therapist. He seemed really mature and responsible. I had a little apartment by myself at this time, and one night he came over for a little date where I set up some stuff for us to paint, and he brought over dinner that he had cooked for me. Again, I was impressed. So that night, like, we started making out, right? But I was a little bit stiff, hesitant, like holding back, right? And he's like, hey, can I ask you something? Why do you seem like you're holding back? Like, do you like me? Are you uncomfortable? And I told him, I was like, honestly, like, I don't want to like hook up or do too much physically unless I know that this is going somewhere. I've gotten hurt in the past. Ladies, biological females, in case you don't know, our brains set off way more oxytocin, the love hormone, when we do those intimate acts than a male's brain does. So even if you're not that into a guy, but you hook up with him, you're more likely to catch some feels. And I had learned this the hard way, and I was done. So I told him, I don't want to do too much stuff unless I know that, like, this is going somewhere. And he's like, oh, well, I understand and everything. And he basically tells me that he's really feeling me, he really likes me, he can really see us having a relationship with each other. And I really believed this guy, okay? And I think he believed himself. And the thing is, like, I really thought that I was dating someone so different from how I had dated before. Like, if I had met him without the context of going on a date with him, like, I would have thought he was gay. Like, just from, like he was very feminine in the way that he talked and, like, the way that he held himself and everything. But to me, like, I liked that. Also, all of his friends were girls. But to me, I thought that was, I was like, okay, green flag, because it wasn't like he was like, oh, this bro with all these female friends. No, it was like he was one of the girls. I'm sorry, most girls don't want to chat. We want a gay boy. We want what we can't have. But this time I was able to pull one. So that night we end up hooking up, okay? And afterwards he gazes into my eyes and he's like, I hope that you feel the same way that I feel for you, because honestly, like, I'm falling for you. Okay, that would not be the last time he said that. He would go on to say that periodically, semi-frequently. I'm falling for you. As time goes on, he started to get like really busy and we weren't able to see each other in person very much, but we would every day throughout the day, right? And a lot of the time it was him texting me these long messages, kind of the ranting about how he has so much anxiety, and I have a lot of anxiety, so I would like text him a bunch of advice and like encouragement and everything. Basically, he like way overbooked himself every single day. He was in college, worked at Starbucks, and on top of that, he had some younger brothers who were still in high school that he would drive to and from school and wherever they needed to go. His parents were divorced, but instead of just choosing one place to live at, he would still go back and forth between mom and dad's house with his younger brothers. But still, we would text each other every day and see each other at least once or twice a week. So one night we were talking, and I mentioned how I have family in Colorado. My sister just had a baby. My mom was gonna go visit her from Illinois, and I was gonna try to make it to Colorado to see everybody. He says, well, hey, I have family in Colorado too. I would be willing to go on a road trip with you, and we could split the cost and everything. And I was like, that would be so fun. So we planned this trip for like a month or two out. And at the time, we were both so excited. But by the time the trip actually rolled around, there was something off about our relationship. Something had changed. But we still went through the motions, got all the snacks, and headed out to Colorado. And I'm gonna have to make a part 2, so let me know if you're here for it.